Hi guys, it's Friday the 2nd of October 2020. The pandemic is in its second wave and it looks like we're going to be in this for the long haul. So today we're going to kind of liven things up a little bit with some country music. A few weeks ago we looked at Willie Nelson, and I kind of implied at that time that while Willie is classical country or considered classical country, he really transcends that, and the music he performs really is Willie Nelson music. That's all I can say. I mean, his style, his delivery, everything makes it uniquely his. And the artist we're going to look at today is kind of in that same category. Today we're looking at Lyle Lovett. I know he's classified as country, but Lyle's music is a little harder to define than that. There are some country elements, but there's a lot of other things involved as well. Now, first time I saw Lyle Lovett, I was on TV on a TV show called New Music. It was being hosted by David Sanborn. This was at probably near the end of the 1980s. And he often combined a lot of very unusual artists together. And at that time, Lyle Lovett was performing supportive of his album, Lyle Lovett and His Large Band. And it was an unusual album. Kind of like big band style swing music for the first half, and then more country music for the second half. Starts out with a tune by Clifford Brown, if you can imagine. And a couple of other ones. I think he did Here I Am on New Music. And it was a very unusual song, kind of a spoken dialogue with a musical chorus, but quirky and funny and very unlike what I would consider country music, even though Lyle at that time was known as a country artist. Second half of the album gets away from the swing material, more traditional country, Stand By Your Man, I Married Her Because She Looks Like You, Which Way Did That Old Pony Run, things that are more traditional country sounding. But the first half is very much like a Texas swing. So, interesting album, interesting to check out. And this one is one, it was even more interesting for me because bass player on this is Leland Sklar, who we've talked about a couple of times already. Lee played on Bad Luck Streak and Acting School, or Dancing School, the Warren Zevon album. He played with Linda Ronstadt. He played on the Jackson Browne Running on Empty album. He is one of the studio musicians that's probably played with just about everybody. And Lyle Lovett used him on the Large Band album, as well as another one of Lyle Lovett's album, Joshua Judge's Ruth. So you not only get the bonus of some very good Lyle Lovett material, but you get Leland Sklar playing bass on both of these, and that's kind of an extra treat. I think the last time I'd seen Lyle Lovett, I'd seen him about 3 times already, and always an interesting concert, always very good. And the last time I saw him, Lee Sklar was actually touring with him. And for me, I found it kind of distracting because I was watching him as much as I was watching the main star, Lyle Lovett. I was really focusing on what Sklar was doing. And it was nice having him there. It was kind of an extra bonus as well. A couple of other albums. One of his very first albums, just entitled Lyle Lovett. See if I can get that without the glare for you. Again, starts out with a very country feel to it, but he's got some unusual songs as well. There's one on here called An Acceptable Level of Ecstasy, which kind of foreshadows what he was doing with the Large Band. Some other ones that are more folky, more country, but again, a very good album. Now, I mentioned Lyle Lovett doing concerts. This past year, Lyle Lovett was touring with John Hyatt. And they were supposed to come to the Ottawa area where I live in April, but pandemic hit, everything got canceled. So Lyle Lovett and John Hyatt teamed up and actually did a free Facebook concert. And these concerts were along the lines of what they used to do on Austin City Limits when they'd have the songwriter series, where the individual artists there with their guitar just take turns singing songs and telling tales about the tunes they've written. So he did that one with John Hyatt. About a month later, Robert O'Keefe and Lyle Lovett did another concert. And these were free. They were on Facebook, a free 1-hour concert, just to get the music out to the fans. It was really interesting. His last one was, I think a week or so ago, with Dwight Yoakam, Now, this time they were charging $10 to see it, but I mean, where are you going to get a concert for $10? 2 headliners, same kind of idea. Trading off songs and about an hour concert. So take a look at his Facebook page, excuse me, and you'll find there's some interesting stuff there. There's a couple of albums, and again, when I say he doesn't really do country music, his second album, Pontiac, had a great tune on it called If I Had a Boat, which would certainly not fit in the country genre. On another one, I Love Everybody, he had the great tune called Skinny Legs. And I think I'd seen him perform the 2 of those on Austin City Limits at one time. And these really are the quirky, fun type songs that I enjoy with Lyle Lovett. So If I Had a Boat and Skinny Legs, if you get a chance to check them out, just give them a listen and you'll see what I mean. It's not your traditional country music. The last album I think I picked up of his, and again, kind of hard to catch with the light there. There we go, a little bit, Natural Forces. A few Lyle Lovett originals and some other covers of other writers. And again, he makes them his own. He really does take a song and turn it into something that transcends the classification of country music. On here, highlights Whipping Crane. I mean, it was a great tune. And one of my favorites, one of the fun ones of his, Keep It in Your Pantry. Enough said about that. You can listen to it and find out what I'm talking about. Lyle Lovett is also a multi-talented artist. A week or so ago, I was watching an episode of Blue Bloods, and who was one of the co-stars but Lyle Lovett, playing Texas Ranger. And really, he pulls it off. His style fit right in with what he was doing in the acting, and it was really very believable, which isn't always the case when you get musicians trying to move into the acting field. But it was very good. So if you get a chance, check him out. It's not your typical country music, and you might find there's something pretty interesting there. He's quirky, he's unique, he makes everything his own. Lyle Lovett. That's it for Friday. We'll see you the first of next week when we're back with jazz. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay home, stay safe. We'll see you on Monday.